Mic this. Hello, BKTF Qualifiers. I'm Cindy Home. Thank you for participating in your first tournament. Now we are about to start the BKTF Qualifiers showcase. The commentators will be there and over the pitch. I'll be running the stream, so I stay muted. See ya, bye.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey guys, I'm Over the Hedge. He's Blue Zapper. We're here to
One and only.
commentate. Yeah, we're here to commentate the Qualifiers Mappool showcase for BKTF 1. So let's get started with Nomad 1. We will have 8 maps in this pool, 3 no-mods, 1 hidden, 1 hard rock, 1 double time, and 1 free mod. Actually, that's 7 maps. I forgot how to count. So we have 7 maps. But yeah, let's start Nomad 1.
Go.
Okay, so this is symmetric. I think all of our maps are custom. Yes, so we have a full custom qualifiers map pool, starting with Symmetric by G-Sun Craft. This is Nomad 1. It's a pretty normal map. Let's start.
Yeah, pretty normal map. It's I don't believe it's as long as like your standard Nomad 1. It's only like 2 minutes 20.
Yes, it's on the short side for Nomad 1, but it doesn't really need to be that long. Like, it tests your consistency still. It's got a lot of bursts. The hardest part of the map happens a lot, basically. It's stuff like this. These doublets, these 1/6, a 200 BPM, this is pretty tough. It's not easy to burst this fast.
No, it will catch a few players off guard. Like, they will have to start practicing this off the bat to get some decent scores to seed quite well.
For a lot of players, though, this will be the kind of map where you play it once at the start of the week, and you think, okay, I'm good at this map, I know I can play it in the lobby, and then you wait until your qualifiers match, and you still get a good score because you're good at that kind of map. It's the kind of thing that a lot of people can just play, because it's not a very complicated map. But, yeah, it's more just a mechanical skill check. Double 1/6 there, and here's the main PI, which is actually one of the easier parts of the map. Although there are a lot of like even length rhythms, like 6 notes, 8 notes, things like that. Also, this pull will probably look very hard to a lot of the players here. A lot of the players signed up are just really strong, so we have to give them hard maps or they might SS everything in the pool. Also, if you're thinking that this seems a lot harder than, for example, AGTS, which had the same rank range, that's true, but that's because AGTS, you couldn't choose your teammates, so a lot of the teams were weaker, and also you had to have 2 people playing every map. For this tournament, you only need 1 player that can play a map. So that means that things have to be harder, otherwise the sim teams will just destroy everything, and also the teams are stronger. So yes, this is going to be harder than AGTS. But yeah, that's the end of Nomad 1. So on to Nomad 2.
Go.
And
I personally thought this is my favourite map. Yeah, this is hard, but I really enjoyed this map.
So this is Metal Jaws, mapped by Kayamori, who you might know as Worst 2 Fingers. This is the tech map of the pool, and it's hard. It's pretty tricky. I think this map will take a lot of learning for some players, but I think it should be doable for a lot of people. You can already hear the weird rhythms start. Let's get into the map. So you can see, you can't see it anymore, but you can see the top bar of the tournament skin there. So already, you can see lots of 1/6, and these 1/3 rhythms are, I'm pretty sure for players that alternate, they always, the second cat always lands on your on hand, like the end of the 1/3. It feels pretty natural to play with alt, actually. The replayer, though, is just single tapping, which it also works. And some winning it. I didn't actually remember that was in the map.
Yeah, this map has it all.
But yeah, the color change on the 1/3s is usually, until the ending, I think it's always on the hand that you started the pattern, if you're alternating.
Yeah.
Which makes things a lot easier if you know that. If you're DDKK, I don't know, you can probably just single tap the 1/3 because every DDKK player can single tap at 500 BPM. The snaps do get a little weirder in this section. And then for the ending, things change again, and it gets to what I think is the hardest part of the map. This is also a bit of a consistency test because there's no easy section. Like, look at this one here.
Yeah, that is a hard part.
These are slow enough that you can single tap them like our replayer is doing here, but the length on them is a little bit awkward if you're not doing that. Bit of a hard stream there. And really tricky coming out of that last 1/3 string. just comes straight into a 1-4 pattern. So yeah, that's Metal Jaws. It's hard. I mean, I think it might be the hardest map in the pool for a lot of players.
I could see it posing a bit of a challenge to some players that aren't very into the tech sort of skill set.
Right.
So this could take a
Okay.
bit of practice for some players.
Alright, well, with that done, let's look at Nomad 3. And here's probably the best replay we have this week. This is max score from Remy on Mach Roger. So this is, it's not a gimmick map, but it is a reading map. So this is, I would call it an SV map. Also mapped custom by Kayamori. And let's get started.
Here we go.
There's a lot of reading maps these days have a crazy amount of like different stuff. I think this one is pretty moderate. I don't think it's really... It has variety. It's not just one thing over and over, but it's... I don't know. It doesn't take a crazy amount of learning. If you learn one section, you've also learned another section somewhere else in the map.
Yeah, it shouldn't take too much time to learn this, but it will require a little bit of learning. Unless you're insane, then you can just like read it, but...
That stream before the PI, by the way, was very fast. If you play box resolution, it might actually be quite hard for you, but just know that it's KDDD 4 times. Anyway, you can see the ninja cats coming in here. Just know that they come in every so often. You'll get a feel for it. I think it's quite easy to understand this map. It's just that it's easy to misread things. And also the 1-3 stream at the end of the PI has quite repetitive patterns, so after a few tries it probably also gets easier. Here's the low SV section. There's nothing special about this, it's just slow. It also makes this quite hard to get high act on, I think.
Yeah, I think I struggled quite a bit.
3 ticks long. What were you saying, sorry?
I think I struggled quite a bit when I was playing through this with the slow section. The slow section was tanking my accuracy.
I actually find it a lot easier than a lot of the rest of the map. Normally I find slow sections very hard, but I thought it was quite chill. I was able to hit it sight read.
Yeah.
But then again, I am like half of the maximum rank for this tournament, so it's a little bit unfair. Alright. So here's a high SV section. This was going to be just more ninja cats, but Warp said we should change it up a little bit, and Kayamori, he kind of cooked. He put in some high SV and it actually turned out quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for a while this map wasn't quite as varied, but now I think it's really good. And now the ninjas are dawns for this last section. Be aware of that. One more 1-3 stream, but this time the SV is a lot higher. And the SD comes down really quickly, and a few finishers, and that's the end of the map.
Very good map, I must say, and a very good score from the replayer.
Yeah, crazy stuff by Remy. This didn't take him very long. Convert players tend to be very good at sight reading things and at just hard reading maps. So that is the maximum score for this map. It's 1,001,200 because of the 6 slider ticks you can hit. They each give you an extra 200 score. So that's the end of the no mod poll. So now we have modded maps, and first is going to be hidden.
Here we go.
For what it's worth, I think this is the hardest map in the poll by a lot. Like,
I agree with that.
a lot. I said this, and it is still in the state it's in, but I thought it was really hard. This is Oyasumi by Citrus, mapped by Jarvis. This was originally mapped for RGTS, which I was also map pulling for at the time, and I said, Jarvis, no RGTS player will be able to play this, like, none of them. So we kind of just decided not to use it in this tournament, and he brought it back for this one and said, hey, I think you guys could use this, and we're using it. So yeah, let's get started.
Here we go.
So, the first thing you need to know about this map is that it is actually, besides the DT, it's the fastest map in the pool. It says 156 BPM. The entire map is in 1316 snapping, so it's actually 234 BPM, or at least that's how it plays. If you can single tap that BPM, that probably makes this a lot easier, because the patterns are weird. I find them really weird. I can't play them at all with alt. I have to single tap this map, otherwise I get like a B rank. The Jarvis Gaming Classic, I guess. It looks like Urine in here is, I think, also single tapping when the 1-4 comes in. I might be wrong.
Yeah, it looks like they're swapping between single tapping and alternating depending on the patterns.
Yeah. A little bit of a slow section here, but nothing too hard. I actually think the fast parts are harder in this, especially because the SV isn't very high. This is kind of a slow hidden, but it has the tapping requirements of a fast hidden. So test both things at once, which might be really hard for a lot of players, especially those who aren't so good at hidden.
Yeah.
And one more PI here. And also a little bit of, doublets. It can be kind of easy to lose the rhythm when that stuff happens.
This does look really difficult.
And that's because it is. I really do think this is the hardest map in the pool by a lot.
And that's the end of the map.
Yep.
Definitely good luck to all the players that are going to play this.
Yeah, so that's the hidden. Again, I do think this is the hardest map in the pool. Hard Rock, though, is also, I think it's quite hard. I mean, look at that. Cheese Stingy getting 99.3. That guy can play his Hard Rock. Alright, so this is Rotted as the Queen of the Rats, mapped by Summit. Let's go. So it's 214 BPM. It's OD 8.4 after Hard Rock, which is important. It's high. It's going to test people's accuracy. If your act isn't so good, you'll probably not be getting a very good score on this. But also, it's fast. It scrolls quite fast. It tests your reading. Kind of like Hidden, where, we only have one map, but we're going to have 2 maps per mod in normal pulls, so we want to test more than just one thing. If you test only slow hidden, but you have a fast hidden later, it's like, why wasn't that tested in the qualifiers? So we're having to do more with each map here because the pool is smaller. So that's why the hidden and hard rock have a lot of variety in them. There's actually a collab between Summon and Kamasi, I didn't realize. And a little brick if you complete this spinner quickly to kind of get your stamina back. Fast hard rock can be especially difficult on stamina. You might want to tap harder for extra accuracy, but then your hands get tired faster because you're tapping so hard.
Yeah.
So breaks are welcome on
fast.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy, but it is definitely fast for the entire map. I think the PIs go to 1.05x SP. This is a 1-3 section, and it has 1.6 and 1.4. So this is where the tech guitar happens. This is where that's tested. Long stream there into a bunch of even note stuff. But now it's just the final PI, and it's just fast. It's normal, but it's fast. And that's it. That spinner is the end of the map. Okay, I thought he wasn't going to hit it. yeah, that's the hard rock. So only 2 maps left. We've got the double time next.
Double time.
Yeah. Is this
That was a replay
yes.
by you.
Oh. Yeah, yeah, this was like my side read, it was okay. My DTF is good these days. So yeah, this is Bitter Choco Decoration, mapped by Cars QL. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I hope that's okay. Okay. So, yeah, this is the fast map of the poll. It's 263 BPM, and it's also kind of long. It's 2 minutes 10 after DT, so it's also going to be hard on the speed. Players might want to use full ult for this map, even when they're using single tap for everything else, you know, things like hard rock and hidden. It's so fast that single tap starts to get really straining. Like, I single tap the rest of the map full, but I use full ult for this map.
Yeah, I think full will be a bit more comfortable for this sort of map with this with DT on top.
Yeah, it is quite comfortable though, like just in general. It's not tricky patterns for full ult. It is quite high OD though, actually higher than the hard rocket, by 9.5 after DT, because it's OD6 with no mod.
Wow.
And it's like 6.1 stars. There's not really much to say, because the map is pretty consistent. Most of it it's just a normal map that is fast.
Yeah.
Slow section here. Because it's DT, it might actually be one of the hardest parts of the map for people to act, just because it's high OD but slow notes. It can be easy to lose the rhythm a little bit. Alright, so the last PI here gets a little bit denser than the rest of the map, but it's still nothing crazy. Dude, I'm single tapping, this guy is crazy! For like the last few seconds of the map, but yeah. And that's the end of the DT. I don't really know if I'd say it's the hardest map in the poll, mechanics-wise, but it's definitely, I mean, it's the fastest by a lot. I think it's about as hard as No Mod 1. Maybe. Maybe a little easier. And also,
Yeah, I'd agree with
it's
that.
way higher OD. Yeah, so that's the DT, and we only have 1 map left, and it's going to be our free mod. So this is, I like this song. This is Interlude.
I like this as well. This is a very good song.
Yeah, so this is Interlude, mapped by Siren. Apparently collab with G-Suncraft, I didn't know that part. I just look at the mapper name and I'm like, okay, this person made the map. So, yeah, this is... It's only 4 stars, but it is anti-mod. You'll see, I think you'll see what I mean pretty quickly.
Yeah, when I was testing this out, I thought this felt pretty comfy until it wasn't.
Yeah, with no mod, it just is comfy. Also, that was a 3-note 1-3 pattern. That was not 1-4 that you saw there just a moment ago. If it sounded different, that's because it was. Yeah, right there. And already it's sped up a little bit. I believe this section is a little bit hard with the HR. Most of the difficulty comes from overlaps, actually. Not extreme ones. I find them possible to sight read on hidden, so I assume they're fine because I'm very bad at overlaps. But
yeah, the overlaps are manageable.
That's anti-hidden, that is slow enough to be quite hard on hidden, but it's very simple. So if you know it's coming, it's probably not hard at all to learn. That's 1-3. And there is a lot of 1-3 in this map. you can just see the overlaps here. With 1/6 as well. I'm actually a little bit surprised this is only 4 stars with no mod.
Yeah, this is where it starts getting really tricky.
Yeah, I mean the whole Ki
Well,
is tricky really, but yeah, it does get harder in the second half.
Yeah, I thought star rank's a slight bit of a lie, but
We've gotten through the Ki. If you're on Hard Rock, congratulations, you've full comboed the map. If you're on Hidden, you're not done, because the ending actually gets quite slow. It's nothing crazy, but it is enough to count as anti-hidden, I think. Along with the overlaps, and the map just generally is hard for HR for the first... Really, everything until the outro I felt was a little bit hard. But it's nothing crazy. I think this will be easy for people with 1 mod, and actually quite hard with Hidden Hard Rock.
yeah.
So, that's the end of the map poll. We had 7 maps, and we've shown you all 7 of the maps. So that's us done for now. Thank you very much for watching. Next weekend, we will have the qualifier results and round of 32, I think, Mappool Showcase. Through the week, we will have qualifiers, run. I'm not a host, but I'm assuming they will allow teams to choose a qualifiers lobby time, usually over the weekend, and then you play your qualifiers, and yeah, you get seeded against the other teams based on how well you did in qualifiers. So yeah, play probably starts this weekend. Maybe if you have a weird situation, you can play on Friday or something. But that's us done for this weekend. Thank you very much for watching. Good luck with the map poll, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, very good luck, and wish you all the best. See you next time.
Bye-bye.